This story begins from an orphanage at Varanasi, where two newborn babies were left by their parents. Out of them, one was a boy child, and another is a girl. The only fault of those babies was that they were born blind by birth. The boy child belonged to the family of a poor farmer who already had 5 children, consisting of 3 daughters and 2 sons. As the farmer could not bear the fact of his last boy child being born blind by birth, and maybe due to his poverty, he was forced to take a decision of leaving his boy child in an orphanage. Now coming to the story of a girl child left in orphanage, even though she was born in a royal family, to a great industrialist father who already had 2 sons in their family. Also, their family being a male-dominated, and the cause that she was born blind by birth made them to take a decision of leaving her in an orphanage. You can imagine how mercilessly those 2 newborn babies were thrown at orphanage by their parents. Of course, life cannot stop them here, as you know life never waits for anyone. The show must go on. The orphanage authorities named those 2 babies, the girl child as Bella and the boy child as Abraham, respectively. Time passed, days passed, and years passed away. Bella and Abraham grew up in orphanage, where they got selfless love and utmost freedom even though they were blind. They both grew up with time, and right from their childhood, they were best friends ever, who used to play and study together, share their stationery, eatables, and other items. Also, they learnt the art of cooking, painting, and other stuff. They lived happily in the orphanage, and were known for their friendship and togetherness among others. Further, the life takes a twist for both of them, when Abraham turns out to be 6 years old. On the same day, a royal merchant from the Middle East arrives at the orphanage, who had made a lots of contribution for the wellness and enhancement of the orphanage to its authorities. This man had everything in life, including name and fame, plenty of properties and renowned estates of his own. But after him, he had no heir to look after his assets, as his wife cannot bear a child due to medical failures. The purpose of the arrival of this childless couple at orphanage was to adopt a child for them. On their request, the orphanage authorities allows them to meet Bella and Abraham. The rich merchant was pleased by Abraham and his attractive features, even though he was blind. The couple decides to adopt Abraham and take with them. They also promised the authorities for eye treatment of Abraham and giving him eye vision. It was very difficult for Abraham and Bella to depart from each other after listening the decision from the orphanage authorities. Bella prepared her mind as it was for the better future of Abraham. Of course they had to live in tears, which made them wipe whenever they thought about each other. Many years passed and seasons passed away. As promised, the merchant gets done the eye treatment of Abraham, and he gains his eye vision. By now, Abraham had turned into a young gentle man of 20 years, who has also become a great renowned trader in Middle East. Time has changed everything in his life, but still, he remembers his orphanage life and childhood companion Bella. Now, he wanted to see Bella, so he decides to go back to the orphanage for meeting her. As decided, Abraham arrives at the orphanage where he had left his childhood unforgettable memories of life. The orphanage authorities and his other friends were glad to meet him. Of course, Bella was too curious to see him, so she runs and hugs him blindly. Abraham was shocked when he saw Bella with his gained vision. The dark ugly skin, thin pale body, dry hairs, and blind eyes of Bella made her a stranger to him. He denies accepting his old companion Bella, who had been with him right from birth. Then he leaves from the orphanage and returns back to him royal life. This act of Abraham leaves Bella in tears and under depression. As time passed out, she gets healed out of her pain and accepts the truth of her life. Later, a twist takes place in her life too. Now, time turns to her, when she met with an eye specialist doctor who had come to the orphanage for checkup of all the members. As he sees Bella and her keen interest in studying, he decides to take her abroad with him for her eye treatment and grant higher studies. Bella leaves the orphanage with him with a great hope and fear as life was giving her another opportunity. Bella studies hard and achieves her doctorate degree at Boston. After practicing few years there, she returns back to the orphanage to meet the authorities and her friends, who were glad to receive her back. By now, she has turned into a beautiful and smart princess of 25 years. Meanwhile, in the orphanage, a coincidence takes place when she meets Abraham, who also arrives at the same time for granting his charity to the authorities. When they meet each other again, in face to face, Abraham gets attracted to Bella and her charming looks. He proposes her to marry him, but she denies to marry him and express her decision of marrying a blind man, and spend her rest of the life by providing free medical treatment and care to the same orphanage, which gave her shelter and brought up from her birth. Later, Bella gets married to a blind man named Zeham from the same orphanage. She gives medical treatment to Zeham and succeeds in gaining back his eye vision. Now, Bella and Zeham lived happily as ever, looking after the orphanage, providing free medical treatment and care to all the needy and orphans. As many years passed out, one fine day morning when Bella was providing her medical consultancy at the orphanage, there she meets an old man of 70 years, who had lost his eyes. She could get to understand that he was a great industrialist once, having 2 sons and wife. His family had grabbed all his properties and wealth, then threw him in this orphanage. It was no sooner Bella learnt from the other old members of the orphanage that he was her father who once threw her to this orphanage long back. Moral and theme: life never remains same for everyone forever. It changes with time, and time never waits for anyone forever. So, never downtrode anyone in your life. The person whom you are degrading today may reach ahead than you tomorrow. Published by Chandrika Mohandas Nair. The end.
If you like the story, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more update. Thank you.